Bluff City Media presents the Two Buck Sports Show with your hosts, Rusty Buckets and Uncle Buck. Now, let's get to the show.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Monday edition of the Two Buck Sports Show here on Bluff City Media's YouTube and X pages. It's 11 o'clock. It's Monday. You know you got the Two Bucks here, except for the fact that you don't, because you've only got the $1 here. Rusty has obligations on Mondays at 11 o'clock. When we cannot pre-record, I have to find a guest, and I have a treat for you guys. He is just right around the corner. I'm excited. He is the best friend of the Two Buck Sports Show because unlike anyone else in North America, he stays up late at night to enjoy the show with us. So, right around the corner, I got everybody's favorite, Wayno. Welcome. Wake up. Wake up.
Welcome to the Two Buck Sports Show with your host, Drew Gann, a.k.a. the Rosy Cheek Assassin, a.k.a. Uncle Buck. Good sir.
Thank you for being here. In solidarity with you, I've decided I was not going to sleep. I was going to run on all coffee just so we could be the same. No sleep for Uncle Buck tonight. No sleep for Wayno. Thank you for being here, brother.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Listen, first off, I just want to say thank you to everybody, from everybody to you, for the incredible caricatures that have been floating around Bluff City Media. If you guys haven't seen Wayno, we know him to be a great painter and artist. What I did not know, what has been a revelation over the last couple of weeks, is that if the day job ever dries up, he could go to the local amusement park, open up a caricature stand, and make $1 million overnight. Just an incredible job. Hilarious work. It's done. Did Luke show his this morning on the show? If not, I'm going to do it.
No, he didn't.
No, he did not. Luke, I think he got it after the show, but he did make it his profile picture on Twitter. Here is the latest caricature of one Luke Hatmaker sitting at a poker table with his two favorites, Admiral Akbar and Garfield the cat here. I said, and Garfield the cat is just cleaning house, which I think we would all expect. So thank you for being here, Wayno. It is truly a treat.
My pleasure. So excited. Third time's a charm, right? Third time's a charm.
Hey, you know, you're getting in your 10,000 hours, okay? You know, is that what Malcolm Gladwell says? To be an expert at something, you got to do it for 10,000 hours. We are doing it very slowly, but we are doing it. We are doing it. So, listen, I did not bring you on here so that we could spend an hour talking about college football. So, I know you were probably cramming, but I'm going to let you off the hook. We're not going to do a lot of college football or football at all, but we are going to start here. This is going to be all NBA talk. This is going to be a lot of hot topics that came out over the weekend in regards to the NBA. I've got some fun stuff up my sleeve. I think you'll enjoy it, but it is Monday and it is the Two Buck Sports Show, which means we start this show the same way, and that's with our best and beef of the week. It's typically where me and Rusty, we're friends for over 10 years now, and we just brief each other on the best thing that happened to us this week.
We're friends then?
Well, I mean, he's not here, is he? You're moving on up the list. We catch each other up on the best thing that happened to us this weekend, as well as our biggest beef of the weekend. It is brought to you by Donna's Italian Beef in Iuka, Mississippi. I don't have the address. Iuka is not that big. Drive around, take a couple left turns. You will find it. So where's my best in beef segment here? Right. Best in beef of the week by Donna's Italian Beef. So since he's not here, you've been my friend now for over a year, and I'm so grateful. And I am curious as to know what the best thing that happened to you this week was.
Ooh, it was the winter. It was the cold winter. And as I put my head down for some well-deserved shut-eye, as you do, I heard a cooey from across the pond. And as I lay there, I decided to get up. I shaved the back of 6 koalas, knitted myself some socks, jumped in the pouch of my kangaroo, bounced on down from the bed. I came downstairs, drunk a pint of Tooheys to clear my throat.
There's so many words that you're using that I do not know.
And answered the call of the $2. And for me, look, so glad that you put me in the game, Coach. So glad.
I'm glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here. Listen, I'll do my best now. Your best is obviously hanging out with me, right?
Right.
Is that fair? I think that's a good best. I don't think it gets much better than that. My wife would disagree, though. My best of the week. We traveled to East Tennessee, which for you guys that are geographically challenged or not live in the United States, that was about a 6-hour drive here from North Mississippi to my aunt and uncle's house. We crashed there over the weekend. My baby cousin, the youngest of all of my cousins, got married over the weekend. It was an absolute gala. I mean, when you're talking ritzy. And I don't know about you, Wayno. I feel like the male species as a whole is very frustrated by having to attend weddings. Do you feel this way?
It's very self-conscious. Having to jump into a suit, having to suit up and go, it's been a while.
Yeah. And typically weddings are very much, you wear your Sunday best. And on Sundays at church here, you put on a polo shirt and a pair of slacks. That's fine. But for this wedding, I was required to put on a suit. And if you follow me on Instagram, you saw that the wife and I dusted off the best clothes that we own for this wedding. But most people, I feel like a lot of men just like are inconvenienced by weddings. They don't like dressing up. They don't like the, putting on the tie and having to go through the whole charade that is like fancy living. I freaking love weddings. I'm just such a fan of weddings, especially weddings like I went to last time. It was worth putting on a suit and tie and slacks and going and buying black pants, black tie, and black shoes to go to this wedding because it was catered. It was an open bar. There was music. There was dancing. There's a lot of family here. I didn't get to see. Like, I freaking love weddings. Like, what party, restaurant, event can you go to where it's fully catered like that with music and libations and food?
Well, it's always a good wedding when it's people you know.
That's fair.
If you're in that early stage, especially like real early stage of relationships, and you're going to a wedding for the first time, and it's like, your partner's family. It's like it could be super awkward, and you don't want to drink too much. You don't want to be the clown and be remembered. Oh, you were the guy at the wedding that time. You never live that down. But if it's people you know and people you trust and people you've seen their worst sides, then you can let go a little bit.
That is true. And so I guess I can validate that because I have mine and my wife's third date was to a wedding. Her first cousin's wedding in Western Alabama in the hills. And it was an event in which, you brought your own alcohol. They allowed brown bagging at this wedding. And the father of the groom acted a fool, and he'll never live that down. I'm sure. I have not seen him since. But so, yeah, I get it. That if you don't want to be that guy at a wedding and you like to be with people and I have been an outlaw at a wedding before, being the wife's party that nobody knew, and so it's kind of weird.
Wedding crash.
But we were still, it was date 3. We were very much like young and in love already, and like that was fine. We didn't even pay attention to the people around us. So, but it is important to know, and for me to note that at the weddings that I've had a great time with, I've been surrounded by people who I enjoy being around, and I have had to pay for nothing. So
That's a win. That's a win.
All right. Your biggest beef of the week, Wayno. The worst thing that happened to you over the weekend.
Oh, well, as some of you might know, I have 2 boys, and my eldest boy, Ethan, he is 13 now. So he's well into his teenage years. So he's at that stage where, dad's not so cool anymore.
Yeah.
He's a very independent kid. And I love that about him because he loves doing his own thing. But there was this movie he wanted to go see He's reading this manga series at the moment, and Jujutsu Kaisen, it's called. I have no exposure to it, but he needed an adult to take him because he's just that bit too young for the. So I agreed on my Sunday and spent the morning going out training my dog. Came home, mowed the lawn, got changed. Usually I'll try and have a nap. That didn't happen. So we went to the movies. We're sitting in there, and it was 2 hours of total confusion. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know any of the characters. And my son's like looking at me, and I'm tired. So I dozing in and out of sleep, trying to get the animation was amazing, but I felt so old and so uncool. And my son at the end of it was just like, "Did you even watch the movie, Dad?"
No, you should have just dropped him off at the door like our parents used to do. Back in the day when things were safe in the United States, my parents would drop us off at the door of the movie theater and then go to Walmart and do some shopping or whatever we called them when we were out. I would never let my kids do that now. I don't trust anything anymore.
I think the worst thing was when I went in there, nearly empty theater, maybe 20 people at most, but 3 rows down, I swear, 3 8-year-olds in there. And I'm like, how did these guys even get in? He could have went by himself.
Right. I've only slept through one movie. You're a Marvel guy, aren't you? You're a comic book guy.
I'm a comic guy. Yeah, sure.
So the only movie that I slept through is I used to, or still at sometimes, have to go down to Jackson, Mississippi, which is about 3.5, 4 hours here. Engineering conference. I typically go along because I'm the only engineer at the place that I work with. But I'll typically meet up with some friends that I've made over the years. But back when I first started, I didn't have many friends here. And so my wife does not like going to the movies. It's not something that she prefers. She'd much rather just sit on the couch and watch a movie. And I'm typically good with that. But there's certain movies that I just want to see in theaters. And typically it's your Marvel movies that have the big theatrical releases and you feel like you want to be immersed in that world. And so I got really excited and went and watched a Marvel movie. And it's the only movie I've ever slept through. And it's the Marvel movie that nobody talks about anymore. Probably the biggest flop of Marvel of all time. It was the Eternals.
Oh, Eternals. Oh,
yeah.
You know what? I don't hate it.
But I watched it. I watched bits and pieces of it, fell asleep through maybe 20, 30 minutes, saw the ending, never even had the desire to go back and fill it myself in.
Yeah, in all fairness, you have to be locked in to sit through that movie.
I think that's probably the reason why I did feel, breaking news, a movie you slept through, you're not that crazy about, but I do feel like it probably was better than my opinion of it. But what I watched, I was like, I don't care.
It's so hard when they take big gambles on really unknown characters. When it comes to Marvel and DC, I'm always like, put the money in the bank and give the people what they want. Give them the characters they're familiar with. And
I was not a comic book guy. This is a Monday edition of the $2 Sports Show. We're going to hang out here for just a second longer. I was not a comic book guy. From the moment I was born, I was watching ESPN Sports Center. I'm a 90s baseball stat guy. I was not the comic book guy, but I did really love it when they started coming out with the movies. So I don't know the history. I don't know the pool of villains that they are going to draw from. And my neighbor and some of my other friends are like, when a movie comes out, the first thing they're talking about is which villain are they going to pull? And that's a big deal. I go into these movies completely and totally blind.
Yeah. And that's what makes that movie so particularly hard, because Eternals, although they had a decent run, way back in the day, it's a tough sell, especially when I think fans weren't ready for a lot of the cosmic stuff. They had a touch of it with Guardians, but that was, pretty jam-packed and, had the soundtracks. Yeah, it had the soundtracks to help back it up, So, I have rewatched it a couple times, over the years, but I don't hate it as much as maybe, some of the recent ones.
And I could be wrong. It was one of the first major releases after Endgame too, right? So it was kind of impossible to live up,
Oh, yeah.
So, all right. My biggest beef of the week. So I had a pretty good weekend, but I'll tell you, you've got 2 boys, and I don't know your family situation, if you've got your folks and in-laws around the corner, if y'all are all from the down under or not, but like I've got 4 children, and it was logistically impossible almost to pawn off my kids onto babysitters for a weekend because it was a kid-free wedding, which I appreciated and I respected. It's your wedding, do what you want. I would love not to take my kids, so please let me blame you for it, okay? That's my stand. But in turn, that results in me having to find somewhere for all 4 of my kids to spend a weekend. Yeah. And my mother-in-law is an angel, but she's busy. She lives by herself. It's really hard for her to take care of 4 of them, especially when the younger 2 are 3 and 1. So we were able to land on my mother-in-law taking the older 3. They had a blast. I'm extremely thankful for her. And then my youngest baby boy stayed with a local friend here where we're from, and he just got to get spoiled all weekend. But like for the whole week leading up to this, it was like, Auntie, like, we may have to break the rule and bring some kids with us or pay a babysitter to ride with us to East Tennessee and watch the kids at the home in which we were staying. Like, it was nerve-wracking, but thankfully it all ended well. But it is awesome. A pain in the butt to try to coordinate all that.
And you got another one on the way. How are you going to do 5?
We're just not going to go places for a few years.
Fair.
That's one of the trade-offs. You know, I'm the oldest of 3. My mom and dad are travelers. They do love to travel, and 9 times out of the 10, it's in driving distance. But I grew up staying with grandparents for my parents to go on a cruise or to go to a cabin in Arkansas for a weekend, or they were always just kind of jumping around and traveling. And so my dad does not understand the allure of having a lot of children. Like, it doesn't make sense. You will never get to do anything. And I was like, well, that's, I guess, part of the trade-off is like, you don't get to, me and Haley are not going to get to be able to travel as much. We still take our weekend every year to go do things like that. But like for us, like having the little kids in the house and having fun in the yard, like that's better anyways.
But I think you're looking at it the wrong way though, because you've increased your chances of retiring on NBA or WNBA money, right? Well, NBA money anyway.
Listen, Wayno, you've never seen me in person, but just rest assured, these kids are not playing professional basketball. I may have a baseball player.
Can do it. Anyone can, okay?
You know, I've got a lefty that's playing a lot of baseball right now at 8 years old. And so I'm really hoping that he can learn to throw a fastball about 94, 95. Being a lefty, that's guaranteed college money at least. And so, and my wife is extremely talented singer, musician. I've played music. Maybe we go the more artsy route because as much as I love the NBA, it ain't happening. It's just not. So, all right, that's our best and beef of the week. We're going to get into some NBA stuff here after the break. I would like to take a minute to cordially invite everybody that is watching the 2 Buck Sports Show with me and Wayno on Twitter to come on over to YouTube. All the cool kids are over here. The comments are already going off. We've got people giving their takes on weddings, and we've got Daniel, Edward, Jared, Evan, Hayes from the No Bullshit podcast. They're all over here in the YouTube comments. So come hang out with them while hanging out and listening to me and Wayno over at Bluff City Media's YouTube page. And so we're going to take a break right now. When we come back, we are going to talk about the NBA. We've got some John Morant stuff. The summer of Michael Porter Jr. We're going to talk about it here, and all kinds of stuff. So just hang out with us.
Looking for an alternative to alcohol or conventional medicine? Check out Ounce of Hope, a Memphis-based dispensary with 2 local stores in the Sanderlin Center and on South Cooper Street. You can get all the products you need in a location convenient to you. Each store offers an intentional shopping experience with dedicated bud tenders to answer all of your questions, from product selection and mushroom blends to our personal favorite, the Delta 9 seltzers. You gotta try the Peach Buzz. Try Ounce of Hope at either one of their 2 Memphis stores or at www.ounceofhope.com for convenient products shipped right to your door. Use the promo code BluffCity for 15% off any order, excluding sale items. Cannot be used in conjunction with other promotions or discounts. One use per customer.
intricacies of your music, man, it's almost like you can see it. When I'm listening to it, man, it's like it's 3D, like for real. When you have an idea for a track or idea, okay, I want to piece this with this, are you hearing things in your head? Are you seeing things? Or are you feeling things?
It's a combination for sure. I would just walk around Manhattan trying to score everything I saw. I have always been a fan of scoring the moment. And so now when I sit down to make music, I'm pulling from a library of approaches to try to convey an emotion I just felt.
What does Memphis sound like when you're walking around Memphis?
Obviously, Memphis is a bit slower and darker, a bit more stutter steppy. Memphis is much more broken chords, much more, flat sevenths. Honestly, not as pretty, right?
Yeah.
Not as pretty, not as high frequency, not as vivid. It's such powerful music,
Check out the Anthony Sane Show Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. only on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Read some stuff about Gigi this week.
I didn't.
No, good.
Okay, good.
Gigi talked about how he's changing his routine. He's getting up earlier in the morning and, trying to get his day started. He wants to make sure that he's like 30 minutes early to everything. And, those are little things, but those are things that, hey, if you're serious, come on, do those things.
No, that shows a level of growth because you want to create a routine. I think what it was in the past, if we're talking about it in this fashion, was there was no real routine. It was get up when you got up. You were going to get the work in, but it was whenever you got it in. Yeah, this is not a question of if he's good enough to do it. It was he going to be mature enough to allow himself to be good enough to do it. A lot of how we will be how much growth he has made.
Tune in to the Night Court Podcast with your hosts, Rob Fisher and Brevin Knight, on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back to the Monday edition of the $2 Sports Show. I am your co-host for today, and joining me from Down Under. Do you ever get sick of that? Wayno.
Nah, not really.
In Mississippi, I feel like we are always the target of people's jokes. In years past, we've been ranked 50th in education and first in obesity. And there's a lot of things like here in Mississippi that you're not proud of, and it seems like they're always throwing it in our faces. And you are to be proud of the state that you were born and reside in for the good things instead of the bad things.
Sure.
In Australia, do you ever get sick? Like the hits for Australia is shrimp on the barbie and
shrimp on the barbie is like hardly anyone puts shrimp and we don't even call it shrimp. We call them prawns.
You call it what?
Prawns. That's what a shrimp is, a prawn. So
that's not what they're actually called though.
But they're prawns.
The animals are shrimp though, right?
I don't know. We just call
alive shrimp, alive prawns. Do you call them prawns or do you call them
prawns? Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess so. Just all right.
So I think like one of the other things that kind of irritates us a little bit, and it's maybe not so much Americans' take, it's fellow Aussies on American shows, is the whole thing with Vegemite. Because whenever there's like an Aussie on an American show and they introduce Vegemite to them, like they always layer it like it's Nutella. And like for anyone who hasn't had Vegemite, it's salty. It's savory. So you generally you have it on warm toast with melted butter and you scrape on the Vegemite. Now, some people have it at different thicknesses, but anytime there's like some show, it's like, mate, like you're doing it way too thick. Of course they're going to hate it. You just gave them a mouthful of salt.
Right.
So that's the other thing.
These people are not chefs. Like, why are you introducing foods as if you're a chef?
Yeah, no toast connoisseur.
That's funny. I'll be honest with you. I thought when you said Vegemite, my mind went to Vegol, which is the can of assorted vegetables that you put in soups. So for a second there, I was like, oh, okay, we're not even talking about the same thing. I'm with you now, though. I'm with you now. Let's talk some basketball. I think that's what we do best. Listen, this is a new segment that we came up with that is one of my favorites, if I'm being honest with you. It's called News to No One. Okay. And I don't know if you saw this or not on the Twitter, Owen Phillips, at Owen LHJ Phillips. That's a mouthful. But this doesn't look right, does it? Anyways, we're going to roll with it. He claims to have watched all 150 plus editions of the NBA's top 100 plays of the night to find out which or who were the league's most highlight friendly players of the season. And ranked number one, which is news to nobody, was one Ja Morant with a score of 152.8 in his calculations.
You can't doubt the talent.
Of course,
it's as simple as that. Like, you can question, like, his ability to play games. You can question his 3-point shot. You can question a lot of things about Ja, but you can't question the talent. It's a next level talent. And if I don't know what to tell you. Like, him coming back from injuries and stuff like that, and me, I might take him 2 or 3 games to get the. No, it's never like that. It's never like that. It's always amazing Ja.
And it's so crazy because it's like, you think like, oh, he's coming off injury, he may ramp up. Like, no, he just doesn't come off of injury. He's either playing and he's amazing, or he's injured. And he is the most electric player in the NBA right now. And I think there's lots of factors that play in his favor. I mean, one, he's an incredible ball handler. He doesn't need to dunk it to have an amazing highlight. And I think it's cool that he's only 6'3", 6'2", 6'3". If you look at a basketball court, you pick out of the 10 guys that are on the court and you rank them by just what they look like on most likely to wow you, he's never in the top half of that list. It's stunning. It's what makes what he does stunning.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I always get like rookie and sophomore season Allen Iverson vibes from him, when Iverson was like dunking over Camby on tip dunks and really exploding to the rim. Like, that's always the vibes I get with Ja, and I just hope that never goes away.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I just think it's so he is a 3-point shot away from and health away from being the greatest point guard in the NBA. You always wonder what could it take for him to be in the MVP race, and outside of just winning and staying healthy, if he could get a 3. But we're talking viral here. We're talking social media, what makes its rounds. His dunks are just otherworldly, and it's because they're always jarring. He's getting off the ground higher. It looks more athletic. Even Anthony Edwards, and he's probably got 3 inches on Ja. It doesn't look as impressive. He's the next most impressive, but Ja's, when he gets to explode and he cocks it back, there's nothing more stunning, just awe-inspiring than when Ja Morant goes to the basket.
Little guys with a 40-plus vertical are always just amazing because they just float through the air seamlessly. And Ja, I mean, I don't know what he measures his at. Obviously, we all know, he's put a lot of work in with his father growing up. Right. But it's I just find him amazing how easily he can recover on defense for his size. He's literally floating over the top of guys and swatting shots. And it's just he's just, like you said, he's just next level. He's highlight reel waiting to happen.
You bring back the trailing blocks. LeBron is known to do that. He's great at it. But if you think of one of Ja's most highlight-worthy plays, it was the 2-handed block against the Lakers where he trailed in transition and picked it off the backboard with 2 hands, and his head was at the box on the backboard. It's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Yeah. Even that stuff, it just looks so much cooler when you're a smaller guy.
Yeah. I mean, I know we've spoken about guys like BC, being one of those players who's right place, right time kind of player.
Right.
Like, don't have to run much for him. I find Ja, like, even though the 3-point shot needs to be more consistent, he does need to develop it and bring it on. Like, I just don't get mad when he's missing him as long as he's taking them.
Oh,
because we've had players who are good 3-point shooters and not take shots. But I do find with Ja, he does hit them when they count. So
yeah, he is clutch. He is very clutch. And he's never shot us out of a game, in my opinion, because he does get all the rope that he wants. Because that if he can make 35% from three, man, that opens up everything. At BC, Speaking of athleticism, for a guy that's smaller in stature than the people that he's guarding or are guarding him, he jumps off, no pun intended, leaps off the page as well, because as a 5, he's what, 6'8", 6'9"?
BC is so good off 2 feet, and his second jump is fantastic. Like, he hits the ground, touches, and he's back up again. So that's the thing I love about BC. And like I said, you don't need to run a play for him, and he's great.
So the FanDuel odds here we use FanDuel here on Bluff City Media. If you think that the viral nature of Ja Morant's highlights are any indication of MVP odds, go place $100 on him to win MVP. You'll win $15,000. That's insulting. And then if you want the Emirates Cup MVP, if you remember, the Emirates Cup MVP, I believe, was Giannis Antetokounmpo, who had a first-round exit. So it's not necessarily the same person that's going to win NBA Cup MVP versus regular season MVP. You can get those at plus 10,000. So those are your odds for today. I'm going to get this off the screen because something about this layoff looks a little honky for me. So the rest of this list, NBA's most highlight-friendly players. The rest of this list, as I said, Ja Morant, number 1. Number 2, the guy who just gets numbers regardless, LeBron James. Yeah. He could be talking politics. He could be playing basketball. He's recently gone viral for golf because apparently anything that guy says into a camera is being eaten up by the spoonful.
Oh, the ego.
Listen, if you got paid based on ego, he'd probably make the same amount of money. I mean, Luka Doncic, number 3, which is kind of surprising to me because when you're talking about athleticism, he's not one that really screams out highlight worthy, but hits a bunch of big shots. And he's number 3. Giannis, number 4. Undersized guard here at number 5. Equally as stunning when he gets to the basket, Donovan Mitchell.
Oh, yeah.
Extremely highlight-worthy player.
I'm a big Spider fan. Like, I know he has his faults, but I'm a big Spider fan.
I love Donovan. I do. Probably the most overranked player of all time, especially when it comes to viral sensation, Trae Young is at 6. Cade Cunningham, 7. Anthony Edwards. I missed Steph Curry. Steph Curry right after Trae Young. Viral through the roof. Incredible.
So Curry after Trae Young? Curry
after Trae Young. And again, he used this based on the NBA's top 10 plays of the night. So I think you're going to, I don't know if this is like per view or total. You know, you would either think that he's got to have one of the bigger ones or a lot of them. Steph Curry, either way, should be much higher. After him, Cade Cunningham, Ant, who viral. If you're measuring viral, I feel like he's got to be in the top 3.
Yeah.
And Stephon Castle, in the last position here.
No Zach Edey on there. I thought you.
Listen, when I think about reasons to turn on my TV, I think Zach Edey. Yeah, I tell you what. Every day you're going to see something you've never seen before from Zach Edey.
Sorry, couldn't help myself.
You're going to put that one on the tee for me, aren't you? I'll tell you what, Zach Edey, if you went viral for balls bouncing off of your elbows, like Zach Edey would be your guy.
Come on. There's no way he had more turnovers than Bane bouncing off his foot last season. Come on.
Well, Bane's not on the list either.
Well, that's true.
Bane is not on the list either. All right. Here's another interesting thing that I bookmarked here. And this, again, you're in Australia. Maybe this is a time for me to gripe and you to tell me, like, hey, you live in America. It's not that big of a deal.
Sure.
But one of our one of our cornerstones to the $2 Sports Show is complaining about what time games start. Okay. NBC, who is doing a Tuesday night primetime game, announced that they are doing a mid-game show between their back-to-back called NBA Coast to Coast Tuesday. And because of the intermediate show in between the two games, they are going to push the second game of the doubleheader start time back to 11 p.m. Eastern time. That is a 10 p.m. local tip for anybody in the Memphis area watching the Grizzlies. And because we're in the Western Conference, we will see quite a few, I would suspect, 11 o'clock tip, 10 o'clock tips.
Look, I'm glad you brought this up because I've been saving my, I don't know if you can see it here.
Is that a little bit chip?
That's the world's smallest violin playing for you guys. I'm so sorry. It's up past your bedtime. Oh my goodness. Come on.
I'll push back. The games are at lunchtime for you. That's perfect.
I mean,
you should never complain.
Hearing you guys
complain and you should let me complain. You should allow me to complain.
I'll let you get it off your chest, okay? That's fair, but like, come on, man.
Listen, we are talking about watching basketball, okay? So it's not like it's ever cutting teeth, really, for me to be able to have to stay up for a 10 p.m. tip. But you know as well as I know, when you start scheduling double headers, when you get into the latter half of the first game and you've got incessant number of replay reviews and huddles up and timeouts and free throws, and that game's not going to end until 9:15, 9:30. Then they're going to cram this in-between show in. 10 o'clock is the earliest these games will tip off.
Yeah, and if your team plays bad and you lose to a team you probably should beat, you're going to bed with a lot of emotion still running, which is never a good thing.
It never fails. We'll play this 9:30 tip
local
time against, well, no, it's the other coast. It's against Golden State or the Lakers or the Clippers or Portland, and you will lose that game every time I decide to tough it out until midnight to watch a game. It's never a blowout where we lose, but we always lose close, so that I have to stay up until the very last buzzer sounds, and I'm just mad. Well, I gotta have to go put on a sitcom on the TV just to go to sleep.
Try eating your lunch when you're like fuming after you lost to Brooklyn or Chicago.
That is true. It's one thing about college football for us is like, we don't get, lunchtime kickoffs or tip-offs in the NBA unless they're playing in London or Germany. We haven't talked about that yet. Those games are going to be at 11 a.m. and noon, the two games that we play in London and Germany. But for college football, if your team plays at 11 o'clock and loses, you really cherish like the gaps on either side of your team playing, unless they're the first game and they lose. And then you're just like, you've wasted my whole Saturday.
Yeah.
You get that 82 chances of that every year.
I find it hard to complain at all, really, because like for me, this is just normal. Like,
right.
Growing up, we had 5 television channels. That was it. And once a week, we'd have an NBA game play on a Sunday. And then before that show, there used to be like a half-hour kind of like NBA action show.
Right.
So like that's all
hosted by like Tony Kukoc or
hosted by like who was it?
Andrew Bogut's dad.
Ahmad Rashad and what was the girl? What was the girl's name? I can't remember.
I don't remember much of Ahmad Rashad, if I'm being honest with you.
But anyway, yeah, so we'd have that. And we have no choice over what games play. So like I think like I said on the first time I was on the show, like when Andrew Bogut got drafted to the NBA, my God, the amount of Milwaukee games I had to sit through, and bad Milwaukee teams too.
Right.
Like, I mean,
because he was chosen number 1, right?
He was the number 1 pick, and it was a big deal here, and that's that was cool. But man, just wiped 4 years off me watching Milwaukee games. So
I'm surprised that didn't kill your love for the game.
No, it couldn't have. But 10-year-old Wayne is so happy for League Pass, and now
internet streaming.
The internet, yeah, man. Like
Yeah.
I can watch games anywhere, and I do watch them anywhere, you know. So like for me, it's so hard to complain because I just remember how bad it was, and you know, waking up watching a Milwaukee Indiana Pacers game.
Well, all right. It has definitely enriched your life being online, being present, being able to watch your games. This next segment is a guy who apparently was banished from talking to the media, and I think now we realize why. Because in the offseason, when free agency and trade deadline and draft was going on, one Michael Porter Jr. was shipped from underneath the wing of Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets out to Brooklyn, where apparently they're allowing him to say whatever is on his mind. And all summer long, if it was a 50-50 shot, like you should or should not say this, he has picked the wrong side every time. I've got a list of clips here.
Like, are there no microphones in Denver? And if so, where was all this, you know?
That's why I said, like, apparently they did not allow him to talk. Because you would have thought he was a model citizen. But what happens? Your brother gets banned for life from gambling, and then you go out and say something to the effect of, if I come out of this game after 3 minutes and y'all hit my under, we're all getting a little bag. Some people think like that. Or, referencing your brother, my brother, for example, struggled with gambling. My vice has always come in the form of women. My brother, Jonte, he never seemed to struggle with women.
Yeah. Shout out Meeks, Willow Bay. That was her name. Sorry. Keep going.
Willow Bay.
Yeah.
So this is he says when he meets a new girl, he likes to throw on some Andrew Tate, noted misogynist, just to see how she reacts.
So, like, I'm with you. Like, man, can this guy just stop, please?
Stop.
Ridiculous. There's two things that kind of drop. Like, I don't care about like his, you know, I definitely don't support it, but I don't care about his tall tales of womenizing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, my belief is like all these NBA guys, they should go get the tubes aside before they enter the league and get them undone when they retire. You know, like save yourself some dough, boys. Save yourself some dough. Other than that, the thing that irks me a lot about all this and all the rubbish he's spewing out at the moment is accountability. And accountability to his brother. Where's the tale of him saying, you know, talking to his brother and bringing that up and saying, like, mate, like, not only have you destroyed your career, but that is also going to follow me around for the rest of my career. Like, where's the accountability, the common sense that kicks in and go, if I start talking, like, I think someone said it in the comments maybe last week, you know, like he's got an even bigger magnifying glass on him now. He's going to be peeing in a cup all season, but just the non, you know, the non accountability at all with this situation.
Like, I don't know anything about Michael Porter Jr.'s upbringing, but you would think common sense would say, my brother just got banned from the league for gambling. I will, at minimum, never speak about gambling on a podcast to my friends. I will never whisper it in my own house about gambling because my brother just got banned for the league. So you could say like the womanizing stuff, just the crazy things he said. Yeah. The one that is like the most obvious, like is don't ever mention gambling. Never. Because you don't have to be a smart man to draw lines in between brothers, you know? Yeah. When it comes to like, you know, betting unders on sport, throwing point shaving on your own stat lines to boost your buddies. That's what your brother did. It's not hard to draw a line from A to B here. He could spoke about it.
He could have saved face and come out and be like, look, you know, my brother made a massive mistake and, you know, we sat down and talked it out and it's not something I endorse. And, you know, and just if he would have just like come at it like that and just shown like, I mean, it's not his accountability. I get it. But also just like show some common sense of the situation. Like you're just throwing yourself under the bus. Like,
you know, I think, tell me if I'm wrong here, but I kind of, like I said, he came from Denver, great, well-run organization, multiple NBA MVP on your team. You've won a title. Everything is run the correct way in Denver. am I to infer that this is just another example of how the Brooklyn Nets are a dumpster fire in the NBA? Like, is it fair for me to put that on them? There are people making a ton of money in NBA franchises that just deal with public relations and trying not to get this stuff out. Like, bro, like getting to these players before they do something stupid like that. It seems like he just went from a team that cares to a team that doesn't care, and he in turn is going to do this.
I'll put it like this. There's plenty of players that play and contribute to an NBA championship. But I wouldn't consider Porter Jr. a championship vet. He's not a lead by example guy.
Agree.
And but on the flip side, I would say that Caldwell Pope is a championship vet.
Right.
You know, so I think that's like for me the biggest difference. Like this,
because with that title is not necessarily 100% tied to your performance on the court. He played great in a couple of those finals games. He was missing, you know, but he was a role player. But like you said, there is something intangible, a personality trait that you have to possess to be called a championship vet. And it doesn't necessarily mean just like, look at my finger, I've won a championship.
Because let's look at it like this. He's in Brooklyn, right?
Right.
And I'm sure he's not going to retire in Brooklyn. Would you agree?
No. No.
So, like the next team, how many teams after he's come, spoke all this rubbish out of his mouth, how many teams are going to go, yeah, I want that guy in my locker room with my young guys?
None.
Right?
Well, that's probably the reason why he's in Brooklyn. Because you've got to think that just the size, length, athleticism, shot, like there would have been a lot of teams that would take a chance on Michael Porter Jr. But what you were able to get was traded to Brooklyn, a team that is full-blown pedal to the metal race towards the bottom of the league. Like they don't care. You're not an asset for the future.
I mean, they drafted 5 point guards this draft?
Yeah, they drafted 5 guards in the first round. Like, and you're going to be in that. You know, you're going to be in the middle of that with Ben Simmons as well. So another guy that just no one takes seriously.
Yeah,
there's just no professionalism.
Ben's free agent, right? So,
and you know, I don't even want to get into like this is the NBA. You're a millionaire. It doesn't really matter what you say. You're going to get women, you know?
Yeah.
But just you've got to compartmentalize. Not everything it should be given to the media. Like you don't want to gallivant and get on a podcast and say stuff like, if I were on Love Island, you guys would hate me.
And it's like, I mean,
trash.
We touched on it at the start, right? None of this was coming out and a mic in his face and all this rubbish when he was in Denver. Go to Brooklyn. It's funny what vets in the locker room will do, right?
Right.
They'll pull you in line. They go, what are you doing?
Right.
You know?
And that goes back to accountability. If you want to have a championship guy, I love that we've got Kentavious Caldwell-Pope because he's been on 2 championship teams as a role player. It's done everything the right way. And I trust that if one of the young guys or John Moran or Jaren, even the vets, if they go a little left when they should stay straight or they're not doing something right, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope will be there. I trust that.
Yeah. There's a lot of online. I find there's a lot of back and forth with KCP, and yes, you can say he had a bad shooting season last year. His 2 championships were with pass first players in the Joker and in LeBron.
Right.
Right. That's been my biggest critique of Orlando. There's no willing passes. There's no point guard to get guys the ball. I'm sure they addressed that a little bit with Tyus, but what have we seen from Tyus really?
Would you consider Jalen Suggs a pass first offensive player? Because he's not a guy that's looking for his shot. He's primarily known for his best trait is his defense. But would you consider him on the offensive end pass first?
Yeah, I find Suggs a little bit of a smaller BC version where he's like a guy you don't need to run plays for. He can shoot, but he's a guy who's going to find himself in the right place, right time. And that is a total credit. I'd rather have guys on my team that have a nose for the ball than one speciality. You know what I mean?
Right.
But, you know, going back to KCP, yeah, bad shooting season last year, but he still started because his defense. His defense kept him on the court, kept him in the starting lineup. I mean, if that's not being a championship vet, I don't know what is. Like,
right. He fits into a role that I feel like works for the Grizzlies, and it works for him because Ja Morant will find you if you're open. And then if it's not working, if it doesn't work, and it turns out that Orlando KCP is what the Grizzlies will get, at the bare minimum, what you will get out of KCP is a role model for Cedric Coward, Jalen Wells, GG Jackson, those wing players who want to be able to make a long NBA career. I see no downsides with it at all.
And it's kind of that thing, you know, we've gone to the days of specialty players. You know, it's gone to the days of a really defensive specialist. If you're a defensive specialist, you've got to shoot the open three. Like, that's got to be in your toolkit.
You've got to be able to make a corner three.
Yeah. If you're a 3-point specialist, you've got to be able to rebound or pass the ball. And, you know, that's, I think, Kennard's biggest problem, other than not wanting to shoot, is that he's so one-dimensional. Like, his time was, you know, it was just time.
Right. I've got a sneaky suspicion that Luke Kennard was just trying to keep his 3-point average up because he knew he was hitting free agency. So,
you can't lose your shooting percentage if you don't shoot the ball.
That is true.
Smart, right?
0 for 0 is not 0%. Okay,
that's right.
All right. So if you got a question for Wayno, throw it in the comments right now. We've got a couple. That's how we'll end the show here. Wayno is always the one asking the question, but now we are going to ask Wayno. So if you've got a question, drop it in the comments. We've got a couple already, and we'll just start from the top. Daniel Greer.
DG!
You know DG. Okay. Why did the NBA not put Ja/the Grizzlies on more nationally televised games?
Should I just give you my tinfoil hat?
That's the only answer we want.
Yes, because they're still punishing him. They're still punishing Ja. He's still got to prove himself to the league. And Adam Silver you're not coming out to the naughty corner until you can show you can behave, sir. And that is why we're not getting all the extra games. They were like, you know what? We'll give you a taste and see how you do overseas. And if you represent the NBA brand well, we'll talk about it next year.
Yeah. I mean, if you're just being honest, and this is if I want to play into your tinfoil hat theory, and it's all about what you've done for me lately, be honest. You look at what the NBA is going through right now. I feel like every night I see Indiana Fever games on TV, and Caitlin Clark's hurt.
Yeah.
If you want me to give you more nationally televised games, you've got to prove to me that you're going to play in them.
Yeah.
That's the tinfoil hat theory for me, because Ja, even when healthy, has sat out of games that are nationally televised.
And no.
So, right. And nationally the Grizzlies have 10, I believe is the number. There are more nationally televised games this year because there are more broadcast partners. There is Amazon, NBA, TV, ESPN, Peacock. I've just probably listed some of them twice and not any of them at all. The Grizzlies have 10, the most nationally televised games for teams in the NBA this year. The Los Angeles Lakers, Golden State Warriors, Oklahoma City Thunder, and New York Knicks all have 34. That's
I'm kind of okay.
half of their season.
Yeah, look, I'm going to take a leaf out of Rusty's book.
Be careful.
Yeah, look, it's very dusty, but I'm okay flying under the radar a bit this year.
Absolutely.
Because if we have a shitstorm like we did last season and we've got all these national games,
absolutely.
I mean, the narrative just goes mental. And I mean, like, it's one of the reasons why I can't watch ESPN. I just can't. I can't stand them.
It's really bad. And I'm really hoping that ESPN, I kind of went on this diatribe the other day. It's like I'm choosing to be optimistic now that the NBA, they got NFL Red Zone. It is a crown jewel of NFL viewers' enjoyment when it comes to Sunday. It's like, so you bought it. you acquired something that was really good. Don't screw it up. It's not that hard. They did that with inside the NBA too. They acquired Chuck, Kenny, Shaq, and Charles. Don't screw them up. Let them do their thing. Let them do their thing. And so I'm with you. I'm kind of anti-ESPN broadcast in general, but I'm kind of holding on to a little bit of hope that the things that they acquired, they will just let them do their thing. That's what
they're going to change that. I mean, they might let it go for the first. You know what they're like. It'll be a month, and you'll be like, "Yeah, this is so good." Like, and then the tweaks will start to come.
Yeah, then they'll come in and they'll try to shoehorn Stephen A. Smith into it. And
oh my god!
Or it will happen. All right. Next question. This is from our friend King Meeks. Comment. He's a norm here. What game are you coming to, and are you staying with Rusty, or are you going to try to room with Santi?
You son of a Bye.
You're getting him worked up.
How dare you? How dare you, good sir? I am planning to come. I have the okay from the missus. Not that I need the permission because I'm a big boy. No. I am coming next season. I'm still working that out with work. And I think I would come hang out for maybe 2 weeks, catch a couple of games, hang out, eat some grub, go get a tattoo, go have go wrestle someone, and I'll just go through all the sponsors, okay? All of them. Okay, I'll place bets. I'll eat ounce of hope while I wrestle, getting a tattoo, and place bets on myself.
Yeah, and we'll do all of this at Grind City Brewing Company.
Yes.
So, I can't wait. I'm going to be there as much as possible. You're welcome to come to North Mississippi and shack up with the Gans here in Ripley, Mississippi.
Come hang with the kids.
You can come see all the infamous children. And if you come at the right time of year, you may even get to see the newest one be here.
Nice.
All right. And we'll all just go get Wayno caricatures of ourselves tattooed on our bodies. That's what we'll do. That's what we'll do over at Trilogy Tattoo. All right, we've got a couple more questions here. We'll get you out of here. This is just from Kenny. We'll do it anyways. All right. What is more embarrassing to the NBA? Michael Porter Jr., John Moran. We did touch on this a minute ago. There's only one correct answer here.
Look, them Porter boys like to bet on themselves. But
what was the line to him making a fool out of himself? Because he hit it.
But I will say this. Ja is like Adam Silver in the NBA and Ja, they feel like the disappointed parent. There's so much potential. I can't believe he's that's what it feels like to me. I don't know. Porter hasn't been suspended, hasn't copped any fines yet.
Right.
So
that's one of those things. We're going through something with my oldest now. Your oldest is 13. My oldest daughter is 11. She's getting into that independent thing. She's got an iPad or she had an iPad because we found her, just exploring some stuff that she didn't need to be into. We're kind of strict with what they see on YouTube and stuff like that. They're just really protective of their youth. Don't want them to grow up too quick.
Yeah.
And because we found it, we've just kind of been extra leery of what could happen next. And that is what John Moran is dealing with. It's like Adam Silver has held on to the first mistake way too long. And it's time you just cut him loose and give him a clean slate. Yeah. And that's what
I think so too. But I think that's kind of, for me anyway, it feels like what this season is going to be about. It's disappointing, because if you're a Memphis fan, the potential of Ja, how exciting it can be. But also, to be fair, he's done a lot of this to himself.
Right.
I mean, even last season with the guns, I love the celebrations, and I totally see the hypocrisy with them finding him. But all these players have been doing it all freaking season, ridiculous. But still, there comes a point where you're they're obviously watching me, with a magnifying glass at the moment. It's okay to keep your head in.
I made the same point on this show during the middle of last season. It's no, it's stupid. But at this point, the rules. And yes, you are being treated differently, but this. So it is up to you to meet the standard or you will be suspended. So it sucks, but at some point you've got to play within the rules given to you if you want to continue helping the team. But
Yeah.
I'm with you. I think that the national TV stuff that will be corrected, because I truly believe in my heart of hearts that Ja Morant leading the Memphis Grizzlies to a really good season is what the NBA wants. You want guys who lead the viral charts to be really good and play a lot of basketball on national television. That you will not be able to convince me that they would not prefer that to be the case with Ja Morant.
And what I want more than anything is full potential Ja. Like there's going to come a time when the athleticism starts to go, his body starts to break down. He's in the later, while he's in Memphis, full potential Ja, and he's capable of it. And I've been saying in the comments, all off season, I want Ja to have a why not me, Derrick Rose season.
Right.
Because if he can stay on the floor, he's more than capable of that.
Absolutely. No one, including me, who last season, I feel like I was as hard on him as anyone in Memphis media, if I could even call myself that. I was really hard on Ja Morant. Nobody's rooting for Ja Morant harder. I mean, I truly believe he is the key to success. He is the key to national relevance, international relevance for the Memphis Grizzlies, and an NBA title. So I buy the happy Ja, the Ja that we've seen. I'm hoping that is indicative of a emotional revolution with him, to where he is going to be more likely to be counted on.
Ja is a culture changer.
That's all it takes.
He's a culture changer. And we're so quickly in today's NBA to hand out awards and achievements and give guys the gold star. But there's plenty of stars in the league, but Ja is a true superstar. He's a level above a lot of these clowns.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. All right, we got one more question, then we'll sign off here. This is also from Kenny, and this is not a FanDuel sports book line, but I believe that I would like to make a wager with you.
Oh.
Okay. The points per game number is at 15. If Santi Aldama finishes the season, or maybe just by the time you come to Memphis, so you get to schedule your own trip. So if when you come to Memphis, Tennessee, if Santi Aldama averages 15 points per game or higher, will you let Kenny draw you a tattoo of Santi Aldama to place on your body? Are you a tattoo guy? Would this be your first one?
I haven't seen Kenny draw. That's the thing.
It's probably bad, but he's really good at graphic design. It would be computer.
I mean, if he can do Santi on a milk carton, that I'd probably get that. That
would have to be an under then. It would have to go under 15, then you get the milk carton.
Yeah, okay. I'll tell you what I will do. I will do this. On my show, we have this thing called a slap bet.
Yes.
So I'll lay down a slap bet. And if I lose, if Santi, what was it, 15 and 7?
15, yes.
By the end of the race, I'll come on the show and slap myself.
Slap yourself.
I'm not talking like you'll hear it. It's a legit slap. It's a slap bet. It's so I'll back it up.
One of my favorite sitcoms. One of my favorite sitcoms of all time is How I Met Your Mother. I don't know if you're into American sitcoms or not.
Yeah.
How I Met Your Mother. They have a running slap bet. That is one of the tropes that lasts through the whole series of How I Met Your Mother, in which Marshall's wife, Lily, is the commissioner of the slap bet. I would be happy to be named the slap bet commissioner.
Slap bet commissioner. So you're going to hold everyone
I will make sure that the rules are followed. Right. Nobody's being taken advantage of.
So
I will make sure that if Santi Aldama has over 15 points per game on average when Wayno lands in the United States, he slaps himself.
So how about this? I'll hold the slap bet with Kenny. So if he doesn't, Kenny's got to slap himself.
Yeah, there's got to be a downside.
Yeah.
So Kenny, I'm going to need you to comment in here that says that you have accepted the terms agreed upon here by one side of the bet. I will be the commissioner. And of course, because this is a sports show, you will do it on camera. We do our lives on camera. Okay. So I'm just waiting on a response. Bet. He's in.
All right.
Kenny says he'll take that bet. He will slap himself live on camera when Wayno arrives into the great United States.
Right. One minor detail we need to. What happens at the trade deadline if he's gone?
I believe that would have to be a refund of monies. I believe you'd have to be off. He has to be on the Grizzlies. As slapback commissioner, I think that's fair.
Okay.
He has to be on the Grizzlies, and the line is at 15. Over 15, Wayno slaps himself. Under 15, Kenny slaps himself. We're going to be watching this. You got to get us the dates quick because I cannot wait.
All right.
Last comment here, and this is just Kenny patting himself and the network on the back. This is a sports show located in Memphis, Tennessee, in which we have one of our best friends on from across the pond in the great land, the great outback of Australia. We're global. We are global, just like the NBA. Bluff City Media is global.
Let me just say, just real quick before you sign me out and give me the boot. It's a full credit to you guys because when my show shut down due to cancer, it was like I was really sick of like the national media and the narratives and the blah 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 and the Kendrick Perkins and all the Stephen A. like talking their trash. So one of the best things I ever did was like find the show, find the network, and be able to talk to real Grizzlies fans and get a real taste of what's going on with the team and everything around. And just like I've learned so much about Memphis. Like I literally cannot wait to come. I'm so excited to come. So it's a real credit to, Bluff City Media and all you guys, all the shows. There's a reason I don't get up at, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning for no reason. I get in because I love talking hoops and I love hearing like everyone's take, and everyone's take is a bit different. So, full credit to you guys.
Well, it's a circle here because we couldn't do it without you guys either. So appreciate everybody that tunes in, especially the ones that tune in at 2 o'clock in the morning. Okay. So not that we play favorites here, but Wayno, he's joining me. All the rest of you Central Time Zone folks got to step your game up a little bit to overtake the guy who wakes up at 2 in the morning to watch me and Rusty yell at each other. So, we appreciate you, Wayno. I appreciate you. We will be back tomorrow with Rusty and the Tuesday edition of the $2 Sports Show. We may get into a little bit more college football since we didn't touch it at all. So, Wayno, if you have to watch it back, we'll totally understand. But for everybody else, you better be here. It's lunchtime for all you folks. Ain't no reason why you can't listen to the $2 Sports Show on Tuesday with me and Buckets. But that's it for today's show on your Monday. I hope everybody had a great time. I had a great time hanging out with Wayno. And listen, until next time, remember, as Rusty says, you want to be Rusty? You be Rusty.
I don't want to be Rusty.
Okay. Well, just be a friend to somebody who needs a friend. And remember, with the $2 Sports Show, you always get what you pay for. Thank you, Wayno. See everybody to.
Thank you for listening to the $2 Sports Show. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. We'll see you back here next time.